Hello, Laura. Nice to have you here for this interview on this International Women's Day.
Hello, Guillaume. Thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome. And today we'll be discussing a bit about your entrepreneurial path and experience as a female founder in the Swiss startup ecosystem. Allow me first to introduce you quickly to our audience. You are graduated of Master of Science in Environmental Engineering at EPFL, worked as an expert at EAVAG, the Swiss Federal Institute of Aquatic Science and Technology, where your focus was on water and sanitation in low and middle income countries. In beginning 2023, you co-founded Openversum, a startup bringing safe and clean water where it's most needed. You operate there as a CMO. Can you let us know a bit more about the problem you're solving and what Openversum exactly does?
Very happily. So Openversum is a social business, and we're on a mission to making safe water technologies accessible to everyone. Because right now we still have actually way more than 2 billion people on this planet who do not have access to safe drinking water, which is extremely dangerous to health and leads to many deaths every year. But the thing is that we have a lot of technologies that exist to make water clean. Yet we've been failing at kind of translating these technologies and implementing them sustainably where they're actually needed. So our solution to this was to not only design our own technology, which is a drinking water filter that we equip with a membrane, but then distribute it differently through what we say is micro-franchising. So concretely, it means that what we do is that we empower women entrepreneurs with tools and know-how so they can assemble, sell, and maintain this filter. So they're becoming the local expert in place that's generating revenue while providing safe drinking water sustainably to their communities.
That's a great project we need for the world. And indeed, you not only bring the technology, but you also bring more skills locally. So congratulations, it's a very nice project. Recently, you won the public voting at the Swiss Indian Entrepreneurship Day during the AIT Swiss Indian Camp organized by Venture Lab. So congratulations for this. Can you share with us some other key moments in your entrepreneurial journey that have contributed to the success of your startup?
Definitely. I think it's always hard to pick key moments because there's just so much that's always happening, especially in early stage startups. But one that I can think of that actually also links a little bit to this AIT India program is when we got nominated as top innovators by Uplink. Plus, they had an initiative. So Uplink is kind of a branch of the World Economic, and they had an initiative all about empowering aquapreneurs. So water entrepreneurs on a mission to make basically the SDG 6 of water access a reality for all. And this was a joint initiative with HCL Tech, which is one of the biggest Indian tech firms. And through this, we got not only a grant that allowed us to set up our local team in Colombia and to hire fantastic people there, but also it connected us to a fantastic network of water entrepreneurs, of water investors. We got to go to the UN Water Conference in New York, and this is a very empowering framework that kind of gives us that stamp of approval that means that we have the right traction to then go to talk to investors, to fellow entrepreneurs that are much more advanced and actually unlock a lot more of opportunities.
This sounds like a dream path because from small events you get to really be invited in the biggest institution of the world on your topic, the water, and this is about the entrepreneur and startup ecosystem that is evolving rapidly. Even your own example is a fast growing path. With increasing recognition of the role of women play, how do you perceive the impact of your leadership in this ecosystem?
I think, I was never planning, I didn't plan on doing any type of leadership. In my mind, first I was an engineer and I knew I wanted to make the world better with water, but I didn't necessarily think of that whole aspect of leadership in business. But when you look at water itself already, water access, it's a problem that disproportionately affects women and girls globally. So actually advocating for safe water access is already advocating for gender equality. But then on the Swiss scene, I've definitely noticed huge changes over the short 2 years I've been doing this. in that at the start, it was a bit difficult to gain the trust and to build confidence in sometimes quite conservative environments. But now more and more, I see a lot of events where you have mostly women panelists. I'm invited a lot to speak up on panels about the role of women in business, the role of women in entrepreneurship. And a big thing for me that is important in such actually kind of leadership is to not only share success stories, but share failures. Because no one is perfect, but I think as women, we tend to think that if we're not the most expert of the expert, we shouldn't talk there. And if we don't tick every box, we shouldn't try. But expressing mistakes and talking about the past to get where we are, I think is something that can actually make other women feel empowered to kind of speak up, maybe make mistakes, but kind of showcase it as, look, that shows that I have experience, that shows that I'm learning, and that shows that I have the capacities to build upon what I've done before.
It makes me think about the saying that you have to try 9 times and you success on the 10th one when you are in the entrepreneurial path. But we know it's also about gaining confidence, trying it, even if it fails, you try it another time and you really work out. So definitely sharing these failures is important so that others can gain confidence. And you need confidence when you need to convince investors for sure. So let's talk a bit about fundraising, and raising funds is often cited as a significant challenge for startups. What advice would you give to other aspiring female entrepreneurs who are approaching the fundraising stage?
Mm-hmm. I think before anything, just be clear on what you want, what's your mission, what are your values, and what you're here to offer, and for what. Don't go around thinking, oh, okay, I need about this amount of money, but I could go a bit lower, but we could go a bit higher. Just be clear also on what you want and what you will not let go, also in terms of values. I think it's very important to find investors that actually align with what you want to achieve, especially, for example, in the field of social impact. We don't necessarily have the same interest as typical venture capital. So that's something that you have to spend time to understand and define. And another point would be to start building your relationships with investors early. Reach out, try to understand already what are they looking for, at which stage do they invest. They might not be the fit for you now, but they might be later. And anyways, to fundraise right now, you need 6 months to 12 months. So just keep them informed, tell them, look, I've achieved this and this and this. Should we talk again? Just keep them in the loop.
Yeah, building relation, networking, being at the good place at the good moment is never so easy. But according to you, what role does mentorship play in supporting women entrepreneurs, and how has it impacted your growth as a leader?
Mm-hmm. I think mentorship is my mentors. I see them as enablers in a way. On one side, they can connect me to the right people at the right time because they've gone through similar issues, similar challenges, but no one is expert at everything. But having them on board means I have access to their network that they've built over the years that I know I can trust. That kind of due diligence was done by someone I trust. Mm-hmm. And on the other side, they just actually help you build confidence because they share their own mistakes, their own learnings. And basically, I think for me, they were just really humanizing my entrepreneurship journey, which felt really good because we tend to get into numbers, KPIs, we have to achieve this, and sometimes we tend to forget how to enjoy the journey. And my mentors have definitely taught me how to do that.
Yes, stop thinking you're alone, and there are many experts who can help you too. See it differently from another point of view. That's very interesting. So we're coming to the end of this interview already. Thank you very much, Laura, for sharing this expertise and experience with us on this International Women's Day. How would you, in a word, sum up your key advice to all the women watching us who want to jump in entrepreneurship?
Yeah, definitely. I would say embrace diversity and harness it as a strength to evolve, not only as an individual, but as an entrepreneur.
That's great advice. Thank you very much, Laura, and good luck for the future of Openversum. We're waiting on your next news, and I wish you a very good end of the day. Bye
Thank you
bye,
very much,
Laura.
Guillaume. It was a pleasure. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.